All right, everyone, it is Dokkan time. And today's how to build video is going to be for the Giant Ape Super Saiyan 3 Goku GT EZA. This is an ancient old unit from all the way back to way before 20. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. 2017. This is an old unit. Finally getting the EZA that it just deserves. And I disagree with what I just said because it really needed a better EZA. Not to say that this unit isn't good. It's actually a very good unit. Decent unit. Okay unit. You know what? Screw it. Anyways, I apologize for my random ramblings, but before we get into the breakdown and everything of this unit, I would like to say, if you're new to the channel, I generally talk about Dokkan battle videos of how to build the units in the game and how their hidden potential works and so forth. I also try to make Dragon Ball videos, and I will be making more in the future. And we also love to promote positive mindsets here and just be overall positive and supportive in general. And maybe we'll have a cup of tea together every now and again. If that sounds good to you and you enjoy the video, be sure to flame cannon the hit and the like and subscribe button. Let's get into it. So, as far as anything else goes, this is the breakdown. Now, there is a giant ape form for this Goku. He does transform randomly up to 2 times. I'm just going to go through this first real quick. When you transform into Great Ape, he'll actually greatly raise his attack now. And then he will also change key spheres on the field. So this is a very interesting change because he didn't do this before, at least not that I remember. Physical to STR, and then he randomly changes key spheres a certain type except for Fizz and STR to rainbow types. This is a really good orb changing thing to happen. So much so that I have to really emphasize that this is a very great supportive feature. And then he has a 50% chance to crit, and he gets 100% attack for every key sphere attained. I will also tell you, this is not a lot. It seems like it would be a lot, and it is a lot specifically if this was on a nuking agenda. So if you did choose to nuke with this guy at some point, and he actually transformed into the giant ape, and you orb changed the whole field, this would be an excellent unit to actually be potentially nuking with. I haven't gotten the chance to really try it out myself, but there is potential here in this giant ape transformation. I can see it. But anyways, enough of that rambling. Let's go back to the base part of the unit that most people would rather care about. As far as 200% options go, I can't really suggest too many. I will say GT Heroes and Giant Ape form is, of course, his primary teams you're going to be rocking him on. So Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, Super Saiyan Carnival, Super Saiyan 3, 4 Goku. And then he also is on the Tech Vegito team. So just keep that in mind. I don't really suggest too many other options, as majority of the rest are not actually 200% options, except for these 7th anniversary units. He is only 170 on Tao, Kid Goku. A lot of these are only 170 options, really. If they have a 220 split, it's lying to you. But anyways, I only suggest 200 to 220 options most of the time. His leader skill got buffed to attack plus 35% per STR key sphere obtained. He is primarily a nuke leader. We'll get into the drama of that later. Super attack wise, greatly raises defense for 1 turn and then raises attack for 3. So oddly enough to the wording of the keywords here, he raises attack by 50% for 3 turns. This is one of the weird times where the wording of the unit changes based on how it is done. So he 50%, he basically raises his attack and his defense by 50% for the turn, but the attack stays for 3 turns. I will tell you straight up, it's not a lot. Like, if you keep this stack of raising attack for, I don't know, if you actually keep it in there, you'll maybe see 20 mil supers, which isn't terrible. 20 mils should be the standard going forward, really, in my personal opinion, for most damaging units. But this guy's not a damaging unit. He's actually supposed to be more of a supportive unit and a link battery. So to say that he actually can do some decent damage along with being a supportive unit, that's pretty nice. Now, as far as his passive skill, attack and defense 200%, all allies attack and defense 33%, plus another additional key +1 and attack plus 33% for characters who also belong to GT Heroes or Giant Ape Power. So what this means is that GT Hero units and Giant Ape Power units are getting a 66% increase of attack plus an additional key +1. Pretty nice. You might not notice it at first, but when you're floating them off constantly and you have other supporters around the same amount, you're going to really see the huge increase. If you have this guy on the same rotation as the Carnival Super Saiyan 3 for Goku, and he transforms, that means you're getting 70... you're getting a lot of support. A huge amount of support for that rotation. Now, when attacking, attack and defense at 200%. When there's another GT Heroes or Giant Ape Power category ally on the turn, attack and defense 150, chance of performing a crit, and dodge chance by 50%. So naturally, this unit has a 50% chance to crit and a 50% chance to dodge. Now, when all allies attacking in the same turn are GT Heroes or Giant Ape, he will also launch an additional super attack and guard for free. So the one thing you'll probably notice is that this is a pretty short passive, first of all. Second of all, there's no damage reduction. We have guard. That is all. The only damage reduction you can give this unit is from the Super Saiyan 3/4 Goku Carnival unit from the 10th anniversary. That is the only way he's going to get that 10% damage reduction. I will tell you straight up, the damage reduction that you can acquire from this unit transforming into Super Saiyan 4 Goku is clutch. This guy paired with this Super Saiyan 3 Goku is pretty dang mandatory almost. And it's purely because of the damage reduction and support that he's giving that unit. That extra increase of stats of defense and the 10% damage reduction along with the unit's guard is basically what's making him able to be usable in kind of high-end content. You know, if we could really take him into it. If we could. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on. So as far as his links go, he has Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, Limit Breaking Form, Over in a Flash, GT, Saiyan Roar, and Fierce Battle. He does have a 30% chance of turning into a giant ape. I thought it was twice. I swear it was twice. Medium chance of turning into a giant ape once. Never mind. It is only one time. But anyways, his categories are all over the place, but in all honesty, if he's not on GT Heroes and or Giant Ape Power, then he really is just not doing much. This is a theme with pretty much all these EZAs from this celebration right here, is that they're all very much category locked to having a full team of said category units. I'm not sure why we kind of dialed back on that. We were starting to get a lot more sparse and spread out as far as our team options went. But basically what this means is that regardless of the fact that you can't take this unit into certain areas of content, which I'll get into in a minute, you can't run this guy on, say, like Daima. You can't run him like next to Giant Ape Vegeta, who is one of the best slot 1 units in the game. You just can't do it because you need to kind of have the whole team to be Giant Ape or GT Heroes. It's one of the two. You can't really mix it. So when you're making a team, be very careful about what units you're throwing. It either has to be full GT Heroes or full Giant Ape. You really can't mix it with this guy or the AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku right here, TUR, that you see. Like, these two units right here are trapped to the two categories straight up. So if those two categories are not doing good in the meta, then these two units are not going to be a part of it. It's just straight up cut in, cut out. Currently, both categories are excellent. In fact, I would honestly say GT Heroes went from being 0 to a hero. 0 to hero. Sorry. I'm a dad. I'm allowed to make stupid jokes. But anyways, the reason I was saying that he is not really able to be used is because unfortunately this is a nuking leader specifically. He has been unavailable to be used in a large portion of current or even meta specific content at the time of writing, you cannot take this guy into the newest, hardest fight in the game, which would be the special GDC 2025 event. You cannot take him in there. It is not possible. I don't know why they don't just remove the unit from being able to be used as a leader specifically. But the Dokkan devs have decided to release this unit in a state where he is almost unusable in a very large amount of content. And before we get into the defense numbers, I'd like to just kind of go over that real quick. So on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see that there is a select amount of stages that I've propped up here for you. Both of this applies to the Super Saiyan 3 Giant Ape Goku that we're talking about right now, and it will apply to also the EZA for the Giant Ape Baby Vegeta, which will be having his own how to build video at a later date. The current set of events right here that you can see on the right-hand side of the screen, which is what you'll probably see in-game, these are the tabs, are the only ones that he can go into. They do also have the ability to go into these red zones right here. It has been common wording in the Dokkan quote-unquote community where red zone stages cannot be used with nuking leaders. This is true for current red zones, not for older ones at the moment, or at least specific ones. I've personally tested these on all of these fights so that, to see if I could take them into them, and you can. There is a couple of these stages that if you go to the restrictions of the stage, they actually do say that you cannot take them in, but they don't block you from taking them in. One of those stages in question is going to be the Divine Wrath and Mortal Will stage. You are able to take this unit into that stage at the time of writing and recording, but the stage will technically tell you that you cannot. You just need to change it to the said unit onto the team, and it should let you in there. If it doesn't allow you in, or if any of these stages for whatever reason do not allow you to take these units in there, I apologize. But at the time of writing and recording, the game is letting me do it, so therefore I place these in here. But anyways. So you have some current level content that can actually be used, such as Battle Hardened Formidable Foes, 10th Anniversary Battle, Divine Wrath and Mortal Will boss rush stages, intensifying fights could be usable for these guys too, which is pretty nice. And those are probably it. The Supreme Magnificent Battle of Super Warriors Edition isn't necessarily a super difficult stage set of events, so, I mean, although you could take them into there, I doubt you would have much use for them. And as far as these events right here, these are all very much older red zones, and you would honestly just dog walk all of these stages with these characters. They would literally one-shot phases. It's not even a competition on these stages anymore. The GT Edition Ultimate Red Zone does have the chance of getting a boss rush mode, so this could be a really nice addition and use for these characters in here specifically, if that does come to true, but at the time of writing, it has not. Anyways. With all that being said, I would like to just go ahead and start getting into the defense numbers. You can see these cycling on the right-hand side of the screen as we are talking about the defense numbers in other parts of the video. All right, so we're here with Halvard's calculations for defense on here. So the defense calculations are going to be... just bear with me. Just bear with me. Don't go anywhere. Please don't go anywhere. Please. I need the view time. They're a little bit questionable. So, as far as being on just a straight-up GT Heroes and without support, double super basis, 2.2 million defense, and that's with Rainbow. Yeah. If you have double Gogeta support, so for the first 2 turns, basically, first 4 turns, actually, but only 2 turns of his appearance, it'll have this effect, potentially. After 4 turns, the double Gogeta support goes away, as it is part of his intro that only lasts for 4 turns. So at that point, he has 2.8 million, which is not too bad. And then if he magically triple supers, he'll be at 3 million. And with 40% support, there's actually quite a large gap of defense in here, but I think this was an error on Halvard's part. So with the 40% support increase here, triple super, 3.7 million defense. So with guard and damage reduction from the Super Saiyan 4 Carnival Goku, this would actually be very much livable. 100% would be livable. I did some testing, and if you actually go for a double lead of Super Saiyan 3 for Carnival Goku, and you keep that Carnival Goku transformed Super Saiyan 4 with the 10% damage reduction and the off-rotational support, having both of the units off-rotational supporting on each turn, you will actually have more defense than the Gogeta support will offer you. You will actually have a start of turn defense of around 550k in that range. Let me explain. So, the unit in question that I am speaking about is this Super Saiyan 3/4 Goku right here. He is a Carnival unit from 10th anniversary. He transforms into this Super Saiyan 4 Goku right here. When he transforms into the Super Saiyan 4 Goku on his 18 key super, he is raising allies' attack and defense by 44% off rotation. If you're running a double lead of this Goku, that is an 88% increase off rotational support every single turn. And if you have both on rotation, that means you're also getting 70% defensive support along with 10% damage reduction. What this means is that you are having over 150% extra increase of defense along with 10% damage reduction added on to that Goku. So when I tell you that these numbers right here for Double Gogeta are lower than that of that potential possible team, I'm not kidding. So this is not his most powerful team. This is not his max stats, but these are average stats if you're rocking Gogeta instead. My personal recommendation is that if you're going to rock this Super Saiyan 3/4 Goku, then you need to rock this guy as a double leader. So you want him and a friend lead to be constantly rotating on the main rotations, getting that 44% off rotational support, and keeping this Goku on rotation, or not keeping him on rotation, it doesn't matter. The point is the team is immensely stronger with that off-rotational support and extra 10% damage reduction. Is Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta God? Yes. Yes, he is. He is God. But there are other options that help the entire team rather than just himself. If we do get a stage where the fight is going to last longer than 4 turns, then by all means, this is your man right here. This is the man. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is nice, but unless the fight is ending within that time frame, the only thing you're doing is, well, you're just rushing. If you're not in a rush, use double Super Saiyan 3/4 Goku. I've said my piece about that. Now, let's go ahead and move on to the build suggestions. All right, now my build suggestions are going to be split up into 2 different paths of the hidden potential that you can rock with this guy. So, at 55%, you don't really have many options, though. 55%, really just throw some dodge orbs into him and pray to RNGesus that you don't get hit with a super attack and move on with your life. Now, moving on to 1-dupe builds, specifically. 1-dupe builds are bottom right-hand corner path starting every single time. Never go any other way. With that, you should have 3 nodes to unlock that can get you a level 9 additional, or you can go ahead and go for a level 9 dodge. You see where I'm going with this? No matter what, you're either going full additional or you're going full dodge, and the remainder will go into dodge or additional. It is entirely up to you. You have to decide, are you going to go for the luck of the dodge? You have a 50% chance to dodge in his passive, so do keep that in mind. Or are you going to go for the additional with Super Saiyan 3/4 Carnival Goku's crazy support, where he will live on a double triple super. He will live as long as you get that additional with that level of support. So it really just depends on where and how you want to use this Super Saiyan 3 Goku right here. So, dodge advocates or additional, entirely up to you. Now, the rainbow, or at least 2 dupes, top left and bottom right, you're either going to go for a full dodge route, which in that case, all dodge equips, level 5 gold and silver and level 2 bronze. That can get your natural level 15 to a 27, which is just a 27% extra chance to dodge. It's not on top of what's in your passive, so you have both a 50% chance to dodge and a 27% chance to dodge if that 50% doesn't proc. So keep that in mind. Or are you going to go for the additional build? In the additional build, I did change one thing, and that is that the bronze would be changed to a defense orb, because that little bit of defense, along with potentially not getting the additional, is basically counteracting each other. So if you don't have the additional go off, but you do have this bronze and you are rainbowed, you might just barely have enough defense to really be tanking some of the supers. Maybe not in special battle, but you can't go in there anyways. But in pretty much any 6 million super level damage, he could survive potentially. Very, very low odds, but it just really depends on the situation, what units you're rocking, what type of support. It just really all depends. So myself personally, I'll be aiming for the additionals. I have better luck with additionals than I do with dodge in my personal experience with this game, but not everyone has that. Some people have more dodge luck or additional luck or even crit luck. Not every player has the same luck. So, but anyways, let's move on to the role tips. As far as the role tips go, he is actually a supportive unit in my personal opinion. From the giant ape form, actually orb changing the field, from getting 66% support and a little bit of key from him, and honestly just straight up being a link battery for some of these other Super Saiyan 4s with Saiyan Roar and GT. I really do feel like he's mostly supposed to be here to support in general. He's just supposed to get that 66% support, maybe orb change the field with the giant ape, and just kind of move on with your life. Or, you know, he's just a nuke leader that we just can't fully utilize the way we want to use him. But anyways, as far as his team options go, I would just straight up be only GT heroes or giant ape power. I did throw the Tech Vegito on here because it is a 220% option, but I probably will never use this guy on there. I just literally threw it on there because these are the only 3 220% leader options at the time of writing. Now, as far as partner goes, any Super Saiyan 4 basically will activate his links, but his best partners are straight up, of course, as I said before, the Super Saiyan 4 Goku here. Once he transforms, that damage reduction is basically saving this unit's life. And then there's also the newly super easy-aid Super Saiyan 4 Goku. People that have been playing this game since the 2nd anniversary, 3rd, 4th, whatever, if you've been around long enough, you know this used to be the rotation. This was the fun rotation. This was the hilarious rotation. This was the most epic freaking rotation in the game. We loved this rotation, and it's back. So, by all means, rock it. In the events that you can rock them in. But anyways, his best slot position, honestly, is just slot 3. You can keep him in slot 2. There's nothing wrong with that. But once again, his defense is pretty low in general. So until you get Super Saiyan 4 Goku out on the field for that extra support and damage reduction, I wouldn't necessarily chance it and just kind of float him off until you can get to a comfortable position as far as your team's synchronization goes. All right. Honestly, I think that's about it for the video. There's not much else to really discuss. This is a EZA unit that we've been expecting for a long time. He's unfortunately restricted to a very specific amount of events. Hopefully the devs have thought about this. I'm really hoping they have. And hopefully that we'll be able to use him in certain events that will really be fun and enjoyable. But anyways, guys, let me know how you decided to build this guy. What teams are you going to use him on? Comment below. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good day and a good night.